Master Your Mind, the forgotten lesson of an American craftsman. The old towns of New England hold many secrets, but few are as powerful as the story of Elias Turner, the quiet craftsman whose life became a timeless lesson about mastering the mind. His tale isn't written in any history book, but generations of Americans grew up hearing fragments of it. The man who turned failure into wisdom and silence into strength. The weight of a restless mind. Elias lived in a small riverside community in Connecticut, where wooden mills sang all day and the scent of pine lingered in the air. He was known for his skillful hands, steady, meticulous, always patient. But inside, Elias wrestled with a restless mind. He worried endlessly about things he couldn't control: the unpredictable market, the storms that threatened the riverbanks, the opinions of neighbors, even the failures he had not yet made. His thoughts worked against him like a hammer striking the same weak point over and over. And slowly, the cracks began to show. His work suffered, his confidence dimmed. The once passionate craftsman felt trapped in fears he could neither outrun nor silence. One evening, after miscutting an expensive piece of walnut wood, Elias finally broke down. He walked out of the workshop, stormed into the cold night, and sat beside the river, its surface dark and trembling like his own thoughts. A stranger by the riverside. As he sat there, an elderly fisherman approached. The man had wrinkles that looked like stories waiting to be told. Seeing Elias's distress, he sat beside him without asking permission. "You look like the river tonight," the fisherman said softly. "Fast on the surface, chaotic and loud. But do you want to know something? The river is quiet at the bottom." Elias glanced at him, curious but skeptical. The fisherman continued, "Your mind is the same. You're staying on the surface where storms rule. You must learn to sink deeper. That's where clarity lives." Elias frowned. "Sink deeper? How does one even do that?" The fisherman smiled gently. "By choosing your response, not your thoughts. Thoughts come like waves. You can't stop them, but you can choose which ones you follow." Those words clung to Elias like an anchor. The first attempt at mastery. The next morning, Elias returned to his workshop. His mind was noisy as usual. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing everything he worked for. But instead of fighting the thoughts, he observed them, acknowledged them, then continued working. Whenever anxiety surged, he paused, breathed slowly, and whispered to himself, "Sink deeper." And slowly, the chaos began to settle. His hands regained their steadiness. His heart found pace. The wood beneath his fingers began to respond again, as though recognizing the presence of an old friend. The lesson life forced upon him. Months passed, and Elias finally reached a state of inner balance. But life was preparing another test. A fire broke out in the mill district one windy October night. Flames climbed the sky, devouring workshops and homes alike. Elias's shop, the place where he poured his entire life's work, was lost within minutes. The townspeople panicked. Some screamed, some cried, some fell into despair. Elias stood among them, watching the ashes of his dreams rise into the night like black snow. The old Elias would have collapsed, but now a different strength emerged. He remembered the river. He remembered the fisherman's voice. He remembered the bottom, where calm lived. Instead of surrendering, he spent the night helping neighbors, moving supplies, calming children, and comforting families. His own loss was devastating, but he no longer controlled him. He controlled it. The rebirth of a craftsman. In the months that followed, the townspeople came together to rebuild. Many could not afford a new workshop, but Elias received one gift after another. Wood from one neighbor, tools from another, a space offered by the local mill owner. Because when the fire came, an old woman told him, you were the only one who did not break. You gave us strength when we had none. Elias realized then that mastering the mind wasn't just about personal growth. It was about being a source of stability in a world full of storms. His new workshop became a symbol of resilience. People traveled from nearby towns not only for his craftsmanship, but for his wisdom. And when they asked how he endured so much, Elias shared the same line. Your mind is a river. Don't live on the surface. Sink deeper. The legacy that outlived him. Years later, when Elias passed away, his story was told at every fireside and every community gathering. Parents taught it to their children. Teachers shared it in classrooms. Quietly, his legacy became part of America's cultural heartbeat. The belief that personal strength is not born from perfect circumstances, but from mastering the storms within.